As Victorians, we're used to a little bit of interstate rivalry with New South Wales. However, along our border, the battle lines have intensified over the past few days. If past state rivalry is anything to go by, then this is shaping up to be one hell of a fight. And much of the anger has been ramped up because of the perceived favouritism by the federal government towards New South Wales over Victoria and the allocation of funding for COVID support packages. Victoria has since last year had 4 major lockdowns compared to New South Wales 2. And yet, New South Wales appears to be reaping much of the financial pie, far quicker than Victoria was ever able to get access to the funds. Yesterday, a leading economist said it has been far more difficult for Victorians to access lockdown support from the federal government than New South Wales after Premier Daniel Andrews accused the Commonwealth of playing favourites. Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg said both states received the same amount of financial support for the initial 2 weeks of their respective lockdowns. However, lead economist at Equity Economics Angela Jackson said support for New South Wales has come quicker. She argues support for the federal government provided to Victorian workers was a lot harder to get, which obviously begs the question, why? Now, if perception is everything, and in politics it's definitely about perception, then there might be merit in the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews' assertions that the federal government are playing favourites. If upcoming elections have anything to do with bolstering Liberal Party stocks, then the tried and true art of pork barrelling 21st century style appears to have resurfaced. Victorians have a right to be angry given what the state has had to endure with forced lockdowns. Victorians' lives, it could be argued, have been far more affected than those of New South Wales. So you'll be forgiven for thinking it was New South Wales small business and the lives of its people that have been destroyed far more than that of Victorians. Victorians have had it far tougher than any other state in Australia. They have lived their lives over the past 18 months in crippling uncertainty. Paralysed with fear at any moment they could go into lockdown again. And as much as the suffering and pain Victorians have endured, they now face humiliation of being slapped in the face and ignored by the federal government with assistance packages that should have helped Victorians who have been badly impacted by COVID lockdowns. New South Wales has been less affected and has received assistance far quicker than Victorians. There are still Victorians awaiting for assistance now. Whatever the deal is, Josh Frydenberg, who is a Victorian, should understand better than most as a Victorian that Victoria and Victorians are in desperate need of help. He needs to advise the Prime Minister to stop playing pandemic politics and get Victoria moving again. Now, we're not saying that New South Wales doesn't deserve to attain COVID assistance, but Victoria must get its equal share of the assistance pie and have far quicker access to the funds available.